As you know, we already have quite some experience with plate carriers, but for chest rigs that is far lesser the case. So with that, we thought to ourselves, let's give it a try, and we looked at the available options. For that, we bought ourselves a direct action Thunderbolt compact chest rig, and in today's video we will show you what this chest rig is all about. As always, before we dive into the subject, support our channel by subscribing and hitting the bell button. And if you guys want to support our work even further, make sure to buy all your equipment through shop.ReconBrothers.com. A thing we would like to mention up front is our relationship with Direct Action. For those that don't know, we are a reseller of their products and offer a solution to their limited production capability, which may lead to products being out of stock for a very long time. Now with our solution, we can have products made on request or take them from their stock if necessary to provide you with the fastest delivery possible. Now for the chest rig we'll talk about here, as I already said, we bought this one ourselves purely for testing purposes and getting more familiar with these kind of things. So you're aware of that. What we also want to put out there is that we will always aim for an objective view with these type of videos, apart from whether we sell the product or not. And for this one that's no different. Our approach on this is by first giving you an overview on the product, and after that we'll give you a review from our personal experience. The last thing we want to mention is that there is no financial involvement for the making of this video. This video was purely produced at our own expenses, so we thank you for all the support you give us. Now let's get to the overview of the Thunderbolt compact chest rig. First thing worth mentioning about this overall design is that it is derived from a combination of Direct Action's two most appreciated chest rig, namely the panel of a Tiger mod but a bit smaller, and the pouches from the Hurricane chest rig. Another thing that is immediately noticeable is how compact and light this rig is. It only weighs 620 grams, which is not that much for how it is configured in our eyes, but we'll get to the configuration in a bit. Of course, this is all thanks to Direct Action using a laser cut design and the materials they've chosen. The main material is a 500 denier Cordura laminate and a soft shell backing. This type of Cordura is known to be a great choice in regards to its durability, weight, and the soft gel is perfect to provide comfort and good moisture wicking. Above that, all materials are durable water repellent treated to face those wet conditions. In addition to that, all plain colors are IRR treated and all the camouflage patterns are NIR compliant to prevent detection by IR devices such as night vision goggles. Moving on, also the stitching is very properly done on this product, even with double and triple stitches on stress points. And we like to point that out because the stitches are usually the first thing that starts to fail on this type of equipment. That being said, let's now have a closer look at the panel itself. As mentioned before, this is based on a design of the Direct Action Hurricane chest rig. However, it does have a few changes thanks to the feedback they got from end users. In principle, the configuration can be split up in three different parts. The most outer part is a bunch of fixed pouches, behind that there are rifle mag pouches, and for the most inner part there is also a flat pocket. Let's work our way from the outside to within, so let's begin with these fixed pouches. In total there are 5 on this row, and they are made to carry pistol magazines, a first aid kit, a radio and other essentials. Let's have a look at the two most outer pouches since they are the same. These are big flap pouches that are buckled closed. They are designed to take all sorts of equipment, going from a big smoke grenade to a radio, or they can even carry a trauma kit with the insert of Direct Action's vertical med pouch. These pouches can also be tightened to your needs thanks to the shockcord design, and their flaps can be adjusted in height or even removed. Above this, Direct Action also provided a way to neatly tuck away the excessive strap material with the use of a Velcro. Also worth mentioning are the buckles they've used on these and on the rest of the rig. By the looks of them, they can definitely take a beating. Going to the center left, this rig has two pistol mag pouches. These feature Velcro closed flaps which can also be adjusted or taken off. These flaps are also provided with Hypalon tabs, which is a very grippy and durable material that makes it perfect to handle even with gloves on. Above that, these mag pouches are also adjustable in tension. The other center pouch that is aligned to your right when you're wearing it is a zippered utility pouch for small items. This one opens very conveniently for an easy access and is outfitted with 2 internal elastic straps to organize your stuff. It also features one Hypalon hook on the inside. That's all for the outer row of fixed pouches. Let's now go one row back and look at the rifle pouches. The rifle pouches on this rig can better be described as one big pocket with separations in it to provide spaces for 4 magazines. These pockets allow to be used for AR, AK and SR magazines and are also adjustable on the bottom. Furthermore, each of these pockets are equipped with shock cords to retain your magazines and also feature a Hypalon tab for ease of use. Now besides these tabs, the inside of each pocket also is equipped with a strip of Hypalon to help improve the grip on your magazine. Moving on, we come to the most inner part, which is the flat pocket. This is a velcro closed one that also features Hypalon tabs to ease pulling it open. The pocket is also pretty big with a size of 28 by 11 centimeters. This makes it great to store maps, notebooks, markers and so on. Furthermore, when it comes to the features of this panel, on its bottom it is also outfitted with a row of PAL slots over its whole length to attach single row pouches or strap something onto it. Beneath that there's also another row of 4 PAL slots for you to mount an additional utility pouch and thus provide more carrying space if required. That's it as for the panel itself. Now before we overview this rig, its harness, we want to talk about a compatibility feature that is possible with this rig and some other direct action products. Just as any chest rig, this one can be separated from its harness thanks to its 6 buckles. Now once separated, this panel can be used onto the Spitfire or Hellcat plate carriers together with the direct action chest rig interface. The purpose of this is that you can change your plate carrier into a system that provides ballistic protection up front while allowing you to wear a backpack comfortably. The addition of this panel then creates a setup with all your necessary fighting equipment up front. That being said, let's now have a look at the harness this Thunderbolt chest rig comes with. The rig comes with an adjustable harness. For this, both the shoulders and back strap can be changed in length. These can extend pretty greatly, especially the back strap. To give you some sort of idea, for us regular sized guys, we have to reduce the length quite a lot, so there's certainly room for bigger people out there. Also, just as on the pouches, the excessive material of these straps can be neatly tucked away with pieces of Velcro. This, in comparison with the usually used elastic bands, makes a pretty big difference because, as every chest rig user knows, those elastic bands never hold in their place unless you apply some tricks. Furthermore, the back strap features an elastic piece that can stretch when you're bending over. This avoids that back strap from becoming too tight on the body, so you always have a good fit. If we have a look at the shoulder straps, you can see that they have a very slim profile, which makes it ideal to comfortably carry a backpack over them. And thanks to the fact that these are made of Cordura laminate, you don't have to worry about their strength. What's also noticeable on the back of these straps is that it features a soft fabric on its inside for comfort, and on the outside there's also 4x2 PAL slots, obviously for if you want to molly something onto your back. Last thing to mention on these is that they also feature PTT cuts on the front for if you're running a radio. Underneath those cuts you also find stitched pieces of Cordura which can be used to organize your wiring. Having said that, we have gone over the features of this Thunderbolt chest rig, so now let's give you our personal thoughts on it and let's go over the cons first. The first one is that the Thunderbolt, its pouches cannot be taken off, moved or stacked. In principle, this doesn't allow for a lot of modularity, but we do think that Direct Action made a very smart approach of creating a good general purpose setup. This because the pouches are all located in very logical and convenient spots that allow you to create a bunch of different setups. Plus the fact that it can hold AR, AK and SR mags adds to its versatility. Speaking about pouches, the pistol mag pouches up front are a bit tight in use for double stack magazines, so taking them out is not an issue, but putting them back in quickly is not an easy thing to do. Also noticeable is that these pistol pouches are located on your left when carrying the rig. In other words, left-hand dominant people will have a harder time reaching those magazines with their support hand. Of course, Direct Action had to make a choice on this, and going for the largest group of people was a logical thing to do. Another con regards the access and use of the inner flat pocket. Opening this pocket is not the most ergonomic thing to do. It also requires quite some force to open it, and although it is a pretty spacious pocket, taking whatever is in there is not an easy grab. Now, even though it is not very handy, it does provide some convenient space to utilize. Aside this, talking about the PTT spots, we do have to say that they are positioned pretty high, and your PTT might interrupt when you're shouldering a weapon. Also, due to its very thin material, there's not a lot of support for the weight of the PTT, and the clamp might even come loose during use. So we do recommend a smaller type of PTT with this one. A good solution that worked for us was using an elastic band to hold the PTT in place. Last con we like to point out is that the rig cannot solely act as a front panel on Direct Action their plate carriers. This is only possible with their chest rig interface, which is a bit of a bummer in our opinion. So that mentioned, let's have a look at the pros. Without a doubt, we can say that this rig is very smartly designed and the product is very properly finished. We've personally used it in various active ways, meaning running, crouching, going prone and so on while shooting. Not with a backpack though. But we can also say that this rig is very comfortable to wear on its own, even when fully loaded. It also stays very nicely in place during all your movements, and there's not a single change in its size thanks to those Velcro strap blockers. Most equipment is also easy to access on this rig, and grabbing those rifle magazines goes smoothly as well. At last, we have worn the rig a few times with our fully loaded backpacks for testing, and we can say that wearing the chest rig underneath it is very comfortably and hardly even noticeable, besides the added weight of course. In overall, we'd say this is a very impressive product from Direct Action. It's a nicely made chest rig, and it will certainly serve very well as a very compact all-in-one system. If you're interested in the Direct Action Thunderbolt chest rig or any other Direct Action products, you can find it through shop.ReconBrothers.com in the colors Crime Multicam, Woodland, Coyote Brown, Ranger Green or Black. If you learned more about this product thanks to this video, make sure to leave a like. If you have any other questions about this product, let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and you'll see us next time.